We've got RIP Takeoff. Big up Chi-Town. Big ups Inglewood, Cali, everybody all over. Tonight, we're going to define and attempt to redefine success for the B1, for the foundational Black Americans. We're going to do some house cleaning here, so take this time, if you don't mind, to go ahead and like, share, subscribe, post this on your social media feed. We're going to get it unpacked right here. Big ups to production.
Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research.
Fair use.
Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit, educational, and personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
Please like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, tune in.
In entering upon this course of instruction, each of you should, so far as possible, lay aside for the time being all previous theories and beliefs. By so doing, you will be saved the trouble of trying
All the way through the show.
to put, quote, new wine into old wineskins, end quote. Luke chapter 5, verse 37. If there's anything as we proceed which you don't understand or agree with, just let it lie passively in your mind until you have enjoyed the entire show. For many statements that would at first arouse antagonism and discussion will be cleared and easily accepted a little farther on. After the show is over, if you wish to return to your old beliefs and ways of living, you are at perfect liberty to do so. But for the time being, be willing to become as a little child, for said the Master in spiritual things, quote, except ye become as little children, ye shall in no wise enter into the kingdom of heaven, end quote. Matthew chapter 18, verse 3. If at times there seems to be repetition, please remember, the Self Luv Show is a lesson, not a lecture.
And even in this instance, if I could be of service to a 9-year-old girl or a 19-year-old woman or girl who wants to be a woman, is to really remember that self-love is the best way that you can receive love from anybody else, because it's coming from you. A lot of times we forget that. We look externally for this love. We look externally for this feeling of validation and adoration and approval, and it has to come from within.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
Just couldn't handle the truth. Others create their own truths. We're unpacking it, featuring Kenyatta Baraka, part of tonight's panel. Like, share, subscribe. Sir.
I'm just a kid from Chicago.
Self Love Vision. Chi-Town kids are Blinak.
Just a kid from Chicago.
Yeah, buddy. Self Love Show.
Kid from Chicago.
Realer than most.
Trying to make a way in the game of life. Trying to make
Welcome
a play. I'm just a kid from Chicago.
to Chi-Town's very own The Self Love Show, where we got two models around here. Model number one is on earth as it is in heaven. Yes, sir. All praise be to the Creator, the Most High, also the ancestors. Big ups to my late Mama Sky. Model number two is as above, so below. Right now, we can be found Malcolm exclusively right here on the YouTube channel. This ain't that network, as we say, TATN. TATN. All right. Pardon me. It's your co-host, Nine Mills, also known as Self. What down. Repeat after me. I am greater than my excuse. I am greater than my excuse. I am greater than my excuse. Today is Hump Day, Wednesday, 12/7/2022 at approximately 8:09 p.m. in the greater city of Chicago. We live. As always, we love to acknowledge that you souls can be any place in this magnanimous universe. But thankfully, tonight, we all screwed and chose to be here together. Here, together. What down, brother Wordsmith? What you manifesting today, sir?
Love, you know me, Nine. Manifesting love. What you manifesting?
Absolutely. Did all good, brother. Pure, magnificent, unfettered, magnanimous. Some say tough, others say harsh. Love just the same. It's all love, bro.
Facts.
Hey, so it's been up in your neck of the shot since we last blessed the world with the Self Love Show.
Well, you know, this time of year comes around, and that's when the snow ban, or when they start towing people's cars, whether it snows or not.
Zone gone. You know, I got a million texts like that. But go ahead, bro.
Man, from now until April 1st, I think. And yeah, it's the city that works. That's for sure.
Yeah, man. One thing one man cries about, another man profits off of, huh?
Facts.
Profit
thrives upon. Even.
Well, I don't tell people, I don't answer questions or tell people what's in my cup. But if I was telling you what's in my cup, we're having some scotch on the rocks. If I was telling you. But this is about success. Is scotch on the rocks success, self-love?
I guess it all depends on how you feel about it. It could be symbolism for that. Could be. Could not be. Some people think it's successful. Some people think it's not.
Absolutely. And welcome everybody. Big ups Ace, Chicago, and Club 100. Oh, what is he sipping on? Some Canadian Club 100? What, they got to upgrade to the Canadian Club or something out there? What's he mean by that, Self? Can you decode or decipher what that brother is talking about?
Chicago and Club 100.
Canadian club out there?
Could be, very well be, but could just be he's spinning at his house.
Jim cannot be drinking Canadian club. Get out. I mean, big ups. I mean, we're not trying to get sued here, but come on. All right, let's get to it, man. What to expect here tonight on the Self Luv Show. We always kick it off with the quote of the day. We run a short 1-minute video, which is our platform. It's called More Growth and Development, and that's where we stand upon unity. And then also we run a quick clip, Self-Love, and I will unpack whether or not what you see is tyranny by our government. And by government, we do mean government. Yeah? And then we got our dome teaser, which is essentially a riddle. Your mind is a muscle. We suggest you should use it or lose it. And tonight's topic, success defined and redefined for the Black community, melanated community, whatever we're calling ourselves today, African-American community. Foundationally Black American community. And then, of course, we wrap the show up with wordsmiths, final words out there. And that's where this brother to my right summarizes this whole joint, tonight's joint, in a nice, wonderful piece of prose right off the rip. So, but first, announcements. Self-Love, you got any announcements, bro?
Like, share, subscribe, share far and wide.
Yes, like, share, subscribe, share far and wide. You guys, when you get a chance, check out that link I pinned at the top of the chat. That's this brother's company that's going to sit with us on tonight's panel, and we'll get more information out there about that as we move along. Only other announcement I had is y'all stop the killing, stop the drilling, whatever you want to call it today, and finished the ISIS papers to reread. Now I'm rereading The Spook Who Sat by the Door. You know, I read this at a grade school age from what I remember now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. It's much better second time around.
No doubt.
It's a greater wisdom and understanding behind it. You know, all praise due. Yeah.
Brother Greenlee wrote that.
Yeah, it was all about, they was in Chicago, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's just great. All right. Big ups to the Windy City. So enough of my yapping because I didn't have any more announcements.
Yes. Quench the Self-Love Nation's thirst.
I'll turn it over to this brother so he can handle his business before we quench the Self-Love Nation's thirst out there.
Welcome to the Self Love Show. Today, success defined and redefined for the Black community with Kenyatta Baraka. And it's going to be a great show. As always, we have the Self Love Show quote of the day. But before that, we have the More Growth and Development video that we are platform which we are building the Self Love Nation off of. For that, here we go with the Self Love Show quote of the day. Gold should be sold to the one who knows the value of it. Once again, gold should be sold to the one who knows the value of it. It's an African proverb.
Reparations.
Silverback More Growth and Development Platform. Number 1, repair our nation via reparations. We demand our silver back. Number 2, to connect our breadwinners with our activists. And 3, show an accurate depiction of African American Chi-Town. 4, to shine a light on positive influences. 5, Heal our community one person at a time. 6, to provide an unfiltered platform for our influencers. 7, recycle the black dollar. 8, to provide mentors for the mentorless. 9, to close the gap between us and our pink kinsmen.
We're closing the gap. Get that gap closed. We're closing the gap. And we got one more. We got one more on the platform. Self Love.
And 10, protect our women, children, and men by any and all means necessary.
Man, protect yourselves and your family at all times. Sound so?
Absolutely.
Facts. All right, so that was the platform. You guys share that message. That's what we stand on. Give us any feedback. We're always open to it. And so let's move it right along. You guys like, share, subscribe. Tonight we're going to be talking about success defined and redefined for the Black community. We have a guest on the panel tonight, Kenyatta Baraka, entrepreneur. Actually moved over to Africa, sat with us, did an entire show with this brother. So we appreciate his input. He definitely brings a lot of more growth and development to the table. So Self Love, did you see Stupid Games? The stupid games, they get stupid rewards.
Not sure that I have, pretty much stay unplugged.
I understand. I know you stay unplugged. So big ups to Inside Edition. Let's run it.
Authorities in California are investigating a bizarre incident in which they say a man entered a police station's compound and pointed a weapon at a police officer before being shot.
This entire incident took 1 minute and 50 seconds.
The police chief of the city of Rialto says the suspect, driving a Dodge Charger, followed a police car through a gate into a secure, personnel-only parking lot of their police station. In a Facebook post, the chief walked viewers through the events of the incident.
The suspect who followed the officer in the black Charger immediately exited his vehicle armed with a AR-15 type weapon. As the officer then became aware of what was occurring, the suspect turned for some unknown reason and started running back towards his vehicle. The suspect then stops as the officer is exiting the police vehicle and raises his AR-15 type weapon at the police officer a second time, and there was an officer-involved shooting that occurred.
Police say the suspect was shot multiple times and was treated by Rialto Fire Department paramedics. The chief says it is unknown if his weapon was real or a replica. He says the San Bernardino Sheriff's Department will conduct an independent investigation of this incident. For Inside Edition Digital, I'm Mara Montalbano.
Okay.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on that? MK Ultra?
Death Wish? And how they don't know if it's a real gun or a replica? What's going on with that?
You said the same. That's the comment I put in on the video, man. How long is it going to take the lab to determine and get it back to the chief, that it was a real gun that he had?
Ridiculousness.
Yeah, that was interesting in the report. I don't know how you could type that up as a reporter and take yourself seriously, unless you just write the script.
They're just reading a script. They're not writing anything these days.
Yeah, but somebody wrote it.
Yeah, and it's all over the country.
Yeah.
It's the same script at every news office, and they just, we're just supposed to read this.
Yeah, I mean, but that was interesting. Like, San Bernardino County in Cali, first off, the sheriffs, we finally got rid of that gang leader, allegedly, who was running, I voted him out.
Yeah.
Who was running the sheriff's department here in LA County.
Yeah.
But San Bernardino County, so if it's wide open, like allegedly a lot of cartels and just drug running, it's a wide open
Wow.
Well, San
Wow,
Bernardino.
wow, West out there.
Yeah, San Bernardino. So those sheriffs, I mean, what would motivate? Maybe it wasn't the guy he was looking for. Like, I don't understand, because that seemed like a hit or something.
Yeah, he followed them in there. But the only thing is he didn't pull the trigger. And I don't know what that was.
Well,
He
we
got
don't
in
know
there
if
and
the
said-
gun was real.
Right. So, I mean, that's why it doesn't make it a hit, if you know.
And if you're going to kill a sheriff, it's like, I guess it's ballsy to go right to the trap and shoot the gang member you're looking for. I guess that's ballsy, but I could probably think of, safer ways to do that.
And follow them into a complete police compound,
and pull out a long rifle from a distance away.
And running up to it. And then say, oh, that ain't him. And then run away. That doesn't make no sense at all.
Turn back and pointed it, though. If he
death wish.
And that's one thing. He didn't look like some sort of color, because they waited a long time to shoot that guy up. Guess they saw that long rifle and was like, whoa.
Yeah.
So we'll get to the bottom of this one. I tell you what, if I'm 12 in that situation, I mean, we rag on 12. That's what we do. Let's face it, we rag on 12. But
yeah,
all right. Is that tyranny? I'm going to say that's it's not tyranny, but they did, have to shovel in the BS about they don't know if the gun is real or not, which makes me have reason to believe the gun was a toy or something.
Yes.
Kid might have been on MEP.
He was on something, because that made no sense at all.
Yeah, but we agree it's not tyranny. I think most of us. Dr. Rue is in the building. I think most of us would agree that we probably all would have shot, cop or not.
Yeah, I mean, can't go around there toying with the AR-15 type weapon.
F&A right, man. I'm going to go right in there, park my truck, F&A. Point at him and tell him, stay away from my wife. You know what I mean? F&A right. Yeah, Brad. You know what I mean? All right. Let's push on. We're going to push on to this next segment here. But tonight is all about success defined and redefined. But we do got another one here. It's just a viral video. Can you run that? It's not really fitting the template.
Worries today for a veteran sportscaster who had a scary medical emergency on live TV, and we should warn you, the video's upsetting.
Watch Dominique.
Big for a 19-year-old kid. Wow.
Keep your eyes on sportscaster Bob Rathbun. The play-by-play announcer for the Atlanta Hawks basketball team slumps in his chair, then starts convulsing while his co-anchor keeps going, unaware of the emergency.
I look for this kid to have a really good first half of the season.
As Rathbun loses consciousness, you can see someone off camera reach in to help him. At that moment, the camera cuts away. So what went wrong? Rathbun's rep sent Inside Edition a statement saying the 68-year-old announcer, quote, briefly lost consciousness on the court. Emergency medical professionals on site quickly treated Rathbun for dehydration.
I look for this kid.
The statement also says Rathbun is now stable and responsive.
Dehydration my ass.
Man, something. What the hell was that?
Hey, I mean, we're not saying it's MK Ultra YouTube, but that was interesting. And even Dominique, he wasn't programmed to respond at all.
No, he was looking like, what's going on with this guy? But I know about this kid on the court, because
you know what I put in the comments? I said that's what Dominique's world-class play-by-play commentating will do to you if you listen to it too long. Too soon? Too soon? But we hope he's all right, and you know what I mean?
Prayers to him and his family.
Yeah, exactly. Prayers to him and his family. So, let's see here. All right, so we do have a dome teaser, and tonight's riddle. What do the letter T and an island have in common? What do the letter T and an island have in common? Don't have a thumbs up out there. Dr. Rue, you might be in the building.
Oh.
Thumbs up?
Yep.
All right. Self Love is typing in his response. You guys feel free to come up with the key, type it in the chat if you got the heart and if you got the mind for it. And then if you don't get it, we'll reveal the key at the end of the show. But enough of all the appetizers, huh? Self Love.
Let's quench the Self Love Nation's thirst.
Yeah, let's get this show on the road. Like, share, subscribe, everybody. Like, share, subscribe. And get our guest in 2 seconds. As soon as we get this promo video going, guest will be in the building. Is the volume right on that?
As far as I can tell.
All right, that's cool. Next week, this topic was suggested to us. We're going to define success for the Black One Nation.
If you are a person of color, you can have as much money as you want. You're still who you are. And that's
Johnson ex-wife.
learned.
Or redefine or rethink our definition of success as a people. And it's funny that this was suggested because we've had this talk on a different platform, Self, on Greater Beta TV back at its start. There's been a speech on achievement done at our founders by DX. Brother Salik pretty much covered the same thing, pretty much touched on it.
Success and failure is not in the volumes of money flowing into your life. Success and failure is not dependent upon the recognition that you're finding in the world. You're successful with life if you know how to walk with joy through hell.
Please reduce volume. And the ISIS papers that was covered. All right, y'all. So y'all know what the Self Love Show is about. That's been laid out this show and every show. Tonight we're unpacking success, defined and redefined for our community. Is it financial solely? Is it family building? Community development? Tonight joining our panel, we got Kenyatta Baraka, man of many hats, from computer engineering, designing applications, been a project manager, team leaders, and moved to Africa. Started his farm in Rwanda.
But there is a loneliness
Entrepreneur.
that very wealthy African Americans do.
And as I mentioned, he went back to Africa.
Very few people in that category.
Let's get this brother in the building. And tonight, as he's getting in and Self Love welcomes him. That's what we're going to be touching on. But if our community was a tree, those who break through. Oh, you can kill that. And you guys check out BRK Africa. That's one of his businesses that he's promoting. I pinned this link into the chat. At the top of the chat, the link to his website and designer styles made in Africa for people around the world. So why don't we, produce stuff? Why don't we, work with the Africans and produce this and that and sell it and buy it? Why don't we yada, yada, yada? Well, here's one that's doing that. What up? What up, Kenyatta? Go ahead, Self. Handle your business, bro.
Welcome back, bro. We had a great conversation with you before, and we're looking to expand on this concept that you requested. Appreciate you.
Yeah, it's good to see y'all, brothers, man. It's I'm actually back in Chicago now. I ran into Utoria over on the lake.
Yeah,
this summer, getting our summertime shine. So that was cool.
Yes, sir.
There's like more black people on the south side in summertime shining is in Africa. It seemed like it. I mean, it's the same, man. You know, I mean, that's one of the things I love about Chicago. It's like it's all black folks. I mean, you know, especially where you at. And then you do have some areas in the Chi where it's, you know, nice areas, but it's still black-owned areas. Yeah. That's something that you don't really see across the country. Generally, you go to places, and if it's a black neighborhood, you know, it's the hood. And of course, we got that in the Chi as well. But we also have areas, you know, where you know, middle class and upper class black folks live, and so it's kind of cool to see us, you know, in our you know, in our own space, you know. And dare we say successful black people, or is that? Well, you know, that's what we trying to talk about, you know. Yeah, and that's what I was going to ask you, bro. Give me your mindset, you know, where this topic came from, because it's a great topic to unpack. And then I got some things to discuss, and then anything y'all want to discuss, it's all a discussion. But go ahead, bro. Let us hear it. Mm-hmm. Well, you know, it's something that, you know, we all thinking about these different things. And it's something that I heard a brother, I believe Amos Wilson said in one of his speeches. I can't remember exactly where he said it or what exactly he said, but he mentioned how, you know, how our success is still defined by, you know, our oppressor. And if you think about it, I mean, that's really what it is, because you know, what do we look at as successful? You know, Black Americans, I guess, since the beginning, we've always tried to fit into the mainstream. We want to be part of this American, you know, system. And, you know, understand, I mean, from out, it looks great. And for, you know, it's for the folks it's working for, you know, it's definitely great. And so all we ever wanted to do is be a part of that. You know, we don't hold any grudges. We don't want any type of revenge or we just want peace and love. We want people to accept us as equals. And that's where the whole, you know, Black Lives Matter and all this stuff comes from. You know, we just want everybody to accept us. But the thing is, you can't make nobody accept you. But that's a whole nother. Especially when ultimately we're doing everything better once we do get involved. And it's almost like we have to prove that we're better. But because that's how we're raised, we have to be better. So, yeah. You know what I mean? What the devil intended for evil becomes good some kind of way. But yeah, great topic, bro. And I just want to start you guys out. And just along those lines, you kind of just touched on it. But I wanted to ask you guys, growing up, you know, we all grew up in the Chi, but this could be anywhere in Black America, as you mentioned. What did we consider as being successful? You mentioned it, but what, honestly, you know, let's have an honest conversation about it. And it may be different from us than the people around us, but what did we feel like success was? That's the first part. And then in general, where did we get an understanding of what success was as we were being programmed as young ones coming up? Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I think we, you know, we have the same vision of success as any other American. You know, it's basically, you know, you go to school, get an education, you know, get a good job, corporate America, you know, marry somebody with a good job. Exactly. You know, and just the same, you know, white picket fence and, you know, just the American dream. And so, and, you know, and that works for mainstream Americans because this is all their system and they're building their stuff. But if we just kind of look at that from our perspective, what is that we're doing? So basically, education, we have to go to a white institution to, you know, to get the education they teach us, basically. So we basically go to them so they can train us to be good members of their society. And then once we then hire us and pay us less. I mean, definitely. I mean, you know, that's, you know, because the thing is, when we leave school, we're looking for jobs from them. And so if we're looking to them for jobs, then it's them who define our value and our worth. And so, you know, you can't go to a corporate American job and demand, you know, a certain pay. You know, you're just happy to be in there, especially
get in at the ground floor, baby.
Ground floor.
And the white guy from high school may be getting paid more than who's got a high school diploma, maybe getting paid more than you. But go ahead, bro.
Exactly. Just because he's either the nephew or they see the value in him over you. So it's like, you know, basically already right there, we're allowing them to define our value. But that's not even the thing, you know. So we get in there, and so what do? We work hard for our whole lives, building their companies, you know, doing whatever it is that they need us to do. And yeah, you know, they pay us, they give us a little something, but obviously nobody's going to pay you more than what you're making for them. And so the bottom line, end of the day, is we're still doing what they brought us here to do in the first place, is to work for them and to build their businesses. And so
I kind of feel like that about Deion Sanders, but we're getting there. You're getting way ahead of me a little bit, bro, but I appreciate it. That's the show tomorrow, but it feels like, to your point, even when we do set out to do our own thing, then we get offered a bag, or now they want to hire you and pay you all this money. Oh, Jay-Z, you want to run Def Jam? You know, that kind of thing. But Self Love, I want to hear from you. Was that an accurate depiction of success growing up, you know, from what you're hearing from, you know, the family unit and Absolutely. You know, the American dream. I mean, that's, you know, what they indoctrinate us with from the earliest ages and push us in that direction. But notice nobody said own a business, but go ahead. Right. That's what they don't push that.
No.
That's not pushed. It's go to school, get a job.
Y'all forgot one big factor. Stay out of jail. Go to school, get a job. Well, that might be the one that we can agree with. Let's stay out of jail. I think that is. But I think Kenyatta said hard not to, you know, for a brother out here, man. Like, that's definitely a measure of success. Yeah, when you target it. I think Kenyatta, did you mention you said the white picket fence. So home ownership. Yeah. Exactly. Okay. And you know, generally when that home ownership comes, that's in some, you know, white neighborhood or you know, and so we define success as becoming white, or, you know, basically less black, proving buffer. We can be like white people. Exactly. You know, that buffer. And I understand, because it's rough out here. And so the closer you can get to them, the, you know, the more comfortable you can be. But hold it. Because I know you got some great stuff to say. What about the lumpen proletariat? Now, we haven't mentioned that. That was never presented to me, because I showed to the community I had other ways of getting out of the hood, you know, getting the F up out of here. You know, man, I gotta get the F up out of here. Everybody repping they block it, but everybody want to get the F up out of here. Mm-hmm. It's such a mind screw. But, you know, the pimp, the player, you know, the hustler, you know, the drug dealer, what have you. You know, that's a dream, an African-American dream that's been put in front of many of us. Mm-hmm. And, you know, the athlete and the entertainer, yes. You know, all of that. And I mean, if you look at that, you know, why is that what we are pushed towards or excel at? If you think about it, we're doing those same things back during slavery times. You know, we've always been entertaining them. We've always been, you know, that's step and fetch it. Yeah. You know, so from the banjo, we out here, which is, you know, African instrument, you know, we're out here entertaining them just to do anything we can do to keep them off our ass, dude. Because I mean, I understand, like, especially back then, you want to be in the good graces of master, you know what I'm saying? And so it's really the same thing now. You want to be in those good graces, and that's where everyone falls into. And, you know, I mean, I understand we got to do what we got to do. And so I'm not survival. Yeah, you know, we got to survive. And so I'm not saying, you know, you shouldn't do these things, or, you know, you should whatever. What I'm saying, let's add to it. Yeah, because you made me think of something, bro. you made me think of something there. Yeah, because we all survive. You know, it's funny you just said that. So I survived, Tori survived, you survived, and everybody. I even hear millionaire athletes and billionaires say it because we just want that next generation to have it better than us. And then for what? For them to survive and just survive a little bit better, and then the next generation just survive and survive. It's, man, but okay, so that's success. But this sounds like we're talking a lot of financial success, although this is America.
Financial success. Well, you know, I mean, that's the name of the game around here. But, you know, I would like to say, okay, yeah, that's a success, but is that success for who? You know, I mean, on an individual level, yes, that definitely gives you an opportunity to just, you know, relax and not deal with all the drama that you have to deal with if you don't have a job and, you know, don't have that monetary success. But is that really helping anyone else other than ourselves?
Well, well, great question. And I'm gonna pose this to Tori and I'm gonna throw it back to you then. Along those lines, then, just springboarding off of that, what is success to you, self-love, knowing what you know now, and what are the elements of success that you may be pushing towards your next generation? And I'm gonna throw that same question to you next, Kenyatta.
It's gonna be knowledge and information and wisdom and understanding. I want my children to know more sooner so they can make better choices faster to increase our knowledge base and expand.
Knowledge of what?
Life and living and what's important about it and what to tell the next generation and how to manage. You know, you need some form of money or a such to live off of, but it's not the basis of everything.
It's not worth your soul. Get some knowledge of self.
And that paper is just that. It's some paper. The value is what everybody considers it's worth. But what's worth, money can't pay for what's the most important.
Our talents and the stuff that Kenyatta was saying that we go and then do for them and their companies, and they own the patents and the rights to all of that. But Kenyatta, so that question to you, my fault, self, were you done?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna throw that same question to you. Like, knowing what you know now, what would be your message to the young kids or to our community as to what is success in your eyes?
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with Tori. I mean, definitely, you know, that whole enlightenment, you know, is a different level than what we're taught. But, you know, I would say as far as, you know, it's not that we don't know what success is, but we're doing success for other people. We're successfully building their stuff. We're successfully continuing the legacy of our enslavers. You know, they brought us here to do what we're doing now. And so, you know, and, you know, I want to like back up a little bit. And, you know, I know we kind of touched on it, but, you know, even after you go get a job and you got this money, what do? You make yourself feel good by buying all these things that they tell you you're supposed to have.
Drinking scotch, smoking cigar.
Well, scotch, that's different. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, that's a personal, personal situation. We've been drinking beer and alcohol. We introduced alcohol to Europeans in the occasion. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
Speaking of scotch.
You know, yeah, everybody got their own personal vice, their own personal thing that they need to relax. And, you know, I mean, that's fine. But what I'm saying is, okay, if we buy all this Gucci and we got all these Benz, I mean, are we successful, or are we making, you know, the German car company successful? You know, are we making the Italian, you know, luxury, you know, clothing shops successful? I mean, and so it's like, you know, we really need to kind of redefine success. And so this goes into the answer from my perspective. You know, I would say things like, okay, we got folks, these millionaires, they got all this money, they're doing whatever. How many Black people are they employing? What products are they providing for the community? What services are they providing for the community? If you have this multi-million dollar business and you're providing the services, to the government, I mean, that's great. That's good for you. And we need, more of that. And we need to be a part of that market as well. But what is that doing for the community? Are we taking some of that money and doing some other things, in our community? And I'm not talking about charity. I mean, we got to get off that charity, skip a turkey on Thanksgiving, giving out free whatever.
Don't forget the book bags.
Yeah, all of that. I mean, we need that. We definitely need that. The children need that. I mean,
we don't need book bags and turkeys every year, man.
I mean, there's some kids out there who need it.
I get it.
But my point is that's something that we do to feel good about ourselves, but that's not building anything. That's a temporary solution. That's like giving somebody a Band-Aid who just got shot up. You
might as well give everybody a carton of Newports. Hard box 100s.
Exactly. So we need to employ people. We need to provide services. We need to provide products. And I'm big on production. I mean, that's what we really would need to do. And so I kind of look at it as let's look at some people we all know and love. Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. We could go on and on, but these two brothers, everybody, the top two or whatever, they were not wealthy men, based off of definition. Yeah, the definition that we just gave, I mean, they weren't necessarily monetarily successful at all, but I would say these are some of the most successful, Black men ever to live. In their influence and the fact that we're still talking of them, and they're still living through us, through so many people. And I mean, that's a measure of success that we don't really look at. Another thing is just even basic. I mean, we're talking about these big things, just basic stuff. Are we taking care of our children? There's so many brothers out here who, for whatever reason, they're not necessarily in their children's lives. They're not really taking care of their children. But then they might be successful in other ways, they would think. But if they're not, showing that their individual legacy, how to make it in this world, and providing for them to make it easier for at least their own children, I mean, I don't care how much money you got. I don't think that's successful. So there are certain things that we need to add to the equation. And I'm not saying, I mean, you got to make money for sure. I'm not saying people shouldn't be working. Yeah, definitely educate yourself inside the university and outside the university. Make as much money as you can, for sure. Stack that paper, get that bag for sure. But then what? What? Give it right back to them?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, let me chime in here real quick. And I hear you 100%. So I was listening to you guys and your definitions, and just off, different things that I've read, and stuff coming from the ancestors and elders. God bless the child that's got his own. So I would say, son, daughter, be self-sustaining. Cultivate your inner light, your path. Cultivate your talent, whatever that may be. STEM. I would honestly push math and science. And then, of course, knowledge of self. No. If you and you guys mentioned family. So if you can do that, so definitely family. And then you'd have to be able to reach back to the community. And when I say reach back, ideally you wouldn't have to reach back because you'd still be there. But even when you're there, you're reaching back to the community. That would be my idea or my definition of success for a Black person in the U.S. Just knowing what I know now, things I've learned over the years. That's kind of where I'm at. And listening to you guys just break down your definition. So appreciate that.
Yeah. I'd like to add one thing,
Yeah, go ahead, bro. Yeah, that's what we're here for.
Yeah, so we talked about how we're basically doing what we were brought here to do. I mean, how about just a simple measure of success is not doing what we was brought here to do. I mean, how about the opposite of that? Can we build something for ourselves? Can we share some type of something amongst us? It's like we have all this money, but we don't do anything with it, and a lot of it is because we don't really have anything to spend it on. Like if we wanted to spend all our money with Black businesses, we just don't have any products to spend it on. And even if you do spend it on some Black clothing line or some Black product, I mean, it's made in China, so 80%, 70% of that money is going outside of our community anyway. That's not really a true Black dollar. So how can we do what they didn't bring us here to do? And that's not work for them. So like you mentioned earlier, start your own business, work for yourself. If you don't have to have a business, own your own job,
Well, you brought up something that Self Love has talked about since I've known him. And that's why, we'd have a ragtag group of guys and we can go out and beat the crap out of people in basketball. We weren't bigger, stronger, faster, but Self had personal ability. But what you mentioned, okay, yes, it does seem like cultivating your talent. So I would have to add a caveat based upon what you just said, because we do get lost in the cultivation of our own talents, that now we have these blinders on. And maybe it's due to the fact that there's not a lot of resources, where I can, I'm investing in starting up my business, and then I still got an extra percentage here to throw at Self Love and invest in his business, because we haven't gotten that snowball rolling. So yeah, it does seem like that we get lost on our own endeavors, and then we're not working as a group or working as one anymore.
Yeah,
we
need pipes. We all got our own thing going on, but there's no collective.
We need to build our own institutions. We have to, and that's what we could put into our money into, because we need all our own institutions, and we need to set up our own government. There's nothing that says we can't within this place. And we need to.
The thing is, I mean, we have our own governments. I mean, you have cities like Chicago that are pretty much dominated politics by Black folks. So it's like,
it's within their system.
Politics.
It's within their system, though. And the system is slanted and all that.
That's what we are. We are already controlling it. Like, how about we just make Chicago the Black Mecca? Make Atlanta the Black Mecca.
Yeah, because the people that get in there, they don't do what we need them to do.
Well, we're the ones who's putting them in there.
And
I'm just saying, we have the power. We have the power to do it. I mean,
Yeah, he's saying throw them out, vote them out.
Yeah, I mean, who's voting them in there? It's not white folks voting these Black mayors in there. You know what I'm saying? It's us. We control the politics of a lot of urban communities.
There are a lot
to
of
the point
us
where the word urban means is bad now. It means hood or something.
All skin folk ain't kinfolk. And
I totally agree. Well, we need to get the kinfolk in there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so, it's definitely, it's always gonna be one of them. Like, I don't know if y'all watch Underground, but it's always gonna be a Kato out there. You know what I'm saying? If y'all haven't seen that, I would definitely recommend. That's a great show.
I've seen it.
Oh yeah, because I'm thinking of Bruce Lee when you say Kato.
It's always gonna be a Kato out there who's gonna do him. You know what I'm saying? And even that character, he's conflicted. And we're all brothers and sisters. We're all together. We don't all have the same idea and opinion. And that's why it's going to be hard to just, this whole unity thing we're talking about. I mean, it sounds good, but it's not going to happen because it's not real. One thing I think we need to do is we need to, it's hard to to get people to spend more money than they already have, because we ain't got no money.
Correct.
We're at the bottom, but we all spend money. So what we need to do is be able to create products and provide products to our community that we're already buying, at the same quality, at the same cost. If we can do that, then it's a no-brainer. Everyone will support. Why wouldn't they support it? If I can give you a product that you're already buying, same quality, same price or cheaper, and it's Black owned, I mean, it's easy to get somebody to support that.
Yeah, they say most change in America came from the pocketbook, like the bus boycotts. Like right now, we should be boycotting Nike and potentially Adidas. Like we shouldn't be buying our kids any of that right now, just to make a statement. So those are things we can control as well.
But then the kids need something on their feet, and I hear you. We should.
Well, they don't need Nikes, but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
you can put that money.
But you know how kids are. You know what I'm saying? If they ain't got the Nikes and everybody else got the Nikes, what I'm saying is
who's paying for the Nikes?
Replace the Nikes. Let's have a Black owned shoe company that everybody wants, that everybody knows, and replace that. So I mean, and so it's not like, oh, we're boycotting anything. No, we're just supporting our own. One thing I've been thinking about, recently, this dude, Musk dude bought Twitter or whatever. And so Leah, you rich white dude, you can just buy whatever you want. You got the money, you can buy Twitter. And so like, why don't we have some rich Black dude buy Popeyes or something? You know what I'm saying? It's like, we always, promoting a chicken sandwich. We love us some Popeyes. If a conglomerate of rappers or athletes got together, bought Popeyes, not just a Popeyes, but bought the whole franchise.
Corporation, right?
Yeah, the Popeyes Corporation.
Or start your own Popeyes.
Or start your own, or we just everybody get a Harold's franchise,
right?
I'm saying let's make Harold's Popeyes,
right?
National chain. But either way, the thing is, these things can be done. I mean, dude can just up and buy Twitter because he don't like whatever they're doing. I mean, we can up and buy Popeyes, and then you ain't even got to start nothing. It's there. You just buy it and then let it run. Bring in some people who run it. And I mean, if Popeyes was Black owned, we already act like it's Black owned, honestly. I mean, hopefully somebody hear this and do that. Then I'll actually buy some Popeyes again, but I can't do it now.
Yeah, and the question becomes, and then that gets off into, that's why I was saying, there's a lot of things we try to buy and want to buy, but they won't sell it to us. Yeah, and that's something we got to learn as people.
Yeah.
We'll sell our house to the highest builder and then say to the highest bidder in a second, and then say gentrification is happening, or then say, those such and suches are moving in. Not that, listen, I'm not racist by any means, but that's what we do, which is it's the right thing to do, but we're at war. It's not the right thing to do. If all things were equal, that would be the right thing to do. But sometimes making this extra money is costing us more. So you made a point about it is tough for us to galvanize as a community, but we somehow seem to do it at the polls. We somehow seem to do it with the types of shoes we buy and the chicken we eat. So there are some similarities,
Yeah, we can do it. We just need to be behind the things that we support, and it's crazy. What you said actually reminds me of a little thing I was reading last week. Basically, there was a brother, I forget his name, but this is back in Harlem, like when Harlem was kind of started. There was a brother, he bought he owned like a big apartment building in Harlem. And somebody bought it, like you're saying. And so what they bought it, and then they immediately
evicted all the Black people. Yeah,
exactly, because they was trying to get out,
So then he bought a building full of Jewish people and kicked
and
off
brought in all white folks
and moved the Black people in.
Exactly. And so what this brother did, he was like, oh, okay. He was mad because he didn't know that that's what they were going to do. So what he did is he just started buying up other buildings and then evicting all the white folks and then bringing in the black tenants that was evicted from the other properties. And so there was this big real estate war. They call it a racial real estate war in New York or something like that.
But see, to your point, most people today, hard for me to say most, that's a judgment, but many of our investors could care less that they were lied to and all those people were kicked out. Like, we don't have that fight in us. We don't have that dog in us. We don't know that these people are still at war with us.
I mean, we'll kick them out ourselves and bring in white tenants because they paying.
Because they paying, they got good credit.
We don't care. That's what I'm saying. There's no solidarity. I mean, it's like we just think that we're Americans like everybody else, and we are, but we have a different experience. And we need to honor the ancestors by acknowledging that. We need to honor the ancestors by doing what they would do if they had the opportunities that we had. I mean, if we look at 100 years ago, everybody talks about Black Wall Street, I mean, it had a great community in Tulsa. We had those all over the country.
Absolutely.
All over the country.
We're doing a series on that. So
yeah, well, that's what we need. We need to know that. But the thing is, what's stopping us from doing that now? They can't burn it now like they did. They still have their ways, but it's like, it's a different time. It's a different time. It's a different age. We still have these issues that we're dealing with.
What's stopping us from doing it, bro, is
at this point,
we don't realize the value in it, the necessity of it. We don't see the necessity of it because we're not walking down the street and seeing your brother hanging from a tree.
Yeah. I mean, well, what we see,
but we're still being lynched
by ourselves.
Correct. And
we see ourselves as the enemy.
Correct.
And a lot of that is there, but there's a reason for that. I mean, it's the economic impoverishment. I mean, African people are not a violent people. Black people are not naturally a violent people. I mean, you can see that in our history here. If we were a violent people, like they act that like we were, I mean, there would be so much more incidents of.
Oh my goodness.
It's like all the stuff that they've done to us. We ain't did nothing to them, and we still don't want to do nothing to them. Like I said,
indoctrinated.
We want them to like us.
We're indoctrinated, and we have a whole lot of calming effect through their indoctrination and schooling and
breeding, dude. Like,
what is correct?
Real. I mean, we have been bred. We are bred to be who we are. And we have to acknowledge that. We have to know that. You know what I'm saying? And that's not nothing we can't get out of, but these are facts, man. Like, we can't sit here and act as if the last 200 years didn't happen and we just woke up yesterday. It's not like that. And so all the things from our past still affect us, and we have to acknowledge that so we can get past it, And so, just this whole topic of success, we need to redefine our success to things that's going to provide, successful outcomes for us on a whole, not just on an individual level, because at the end of the day, we're going to die. And if we just die and we just, our life, we just built somebody else's company, we just was the best customer.
Companies that will beg to be board members on, it'll probably never
they won't even let us on there.
Right.
Right. And even it's just kind of ridiculous. But
we're doing it. We're shooting ourselves in the foot. We're doing it ourselves, essentially.
Yeah, and we're so proud of it, and we're out here just bigging it up like we just doing something. Like folks out here.
I'm the first CEO for Apple. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fine, that's great, but you're getting those big checks. Spin off and do your own thing.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, I wish we could be CEO of Apple. It ain't even that. Like we just like whatever, Oh,
it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Yeah. Well, how about we have our own tech company?
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? Like, why we want to be CEO of Apple and make them a bunch of money? Let's have our own tech company. Let's start our own thing.
Correct.
And so, and so that's the thing. I mean, is that, like you said, is that success to be the CEO of another company? And make money for yourself. I don't know. I mean, everybody got to define success in their own way. And, I'm not here to tell anybody what to do or what they shouldn't do. Do whatever makes you happy. I'm just trying to have another conversation, ask some other things. If we buying, all this Gucci and, Louis, and we got the Benz and, the Mercedes and all that stuff, then let's also have some other stuff. How many Black clothing lines are we supporting? How many Black businesses are we supporting? I mean, there are a few of them out there. And if not, let's start our own.
And then how about don't buy any of that, as you were saying, the Gucci and all that other stuff I can't pronounce, those high-end cars. How about, buy yourself some stock and your family some stock in those companies, and then spend all your hard cash with your people, like almost every other race of people do.
Exactly. And that's what we need to, and the reason they do that is because that's what they see as success. And so that's why we need to have this conversation. We need to redefine success. And so it's like, if we see somebody with all this Gucci on and no house, I'm like, dude, like, how you got a Hermes belt and no house? Obviously it's not real, because it's like, I mean, it's crazy. Like, you'll go to like McDonald's and see some dude with a Hermes belt working behind a counter or something. Like,
right.
Like,
well, that one probably came from China.
Exactly. They all came from China, but then they still paid half price for it.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, that's something. But I did want to, bro, let's take a short break, because it was something you said that I want to cover in the second half, and then we can kind of wrap it up, because we I think we broke down this topic pretty good so far. But I did have some more things I want to touch on. So we're gonna take like a 6-minute break, and then come back and then finish it out, and then go from there. Okay.
Cool.
Appreciate you doing this, bro.
Hey, appreciate the hospitality.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's get it in. Self love, handle your business. And I'm gonna pause your cam.
Yes, y'all. The Self Love Show, where success is being defined and redefined for the Black community, with our welcome guest, Kenyatta Baraka.
Sure.
And we gave our opinions on what we thought success was as coming up and what we feel now. And going to be a lot more discussion that we're going to expand in the second half. But we got some great videos lined up for you. Check them out. And we'll be right back at you.
It's halftime. It's halftime.
I should call this shit no block. It's 10 o'clock. Where the fuck y'all niggas at? This what y'all wanted me in Chicago? O block right here. I should call this shit no block. It's 10 o'clock. Where the fuck y'all niggas at? Niggas ain't outside. It's only 10 p.m. Where the fuck y'all niggas at, blood?
O block right now. Where we at? Tell you something, man. This Nino Brown, man. I'm live on O block right now. Where we at? This O block. I'm from Miami. I just want to tell niggas, man, we gotta stop killing each other, man. Yeah, this shit ain't about nothing. All that killing shit, we gotta work together, man. Stop killing each other, my nigga. I had to come over here and tell niggas that shit, my nigga.
I'm right here. See where I'm at. I'm out here. Black Star Line cigars. For grown men. On some grown man stuff. And to the PDs, stop doing that killing. Please, stop doing that killing.
sentence of chattel slavery. What do you think should be at the top of our agenda so that we can get this man's knee off our neck, so to speak?
What should be at the top of our agenda? Well, definitely, financial stability. I mean, civil rights march was great. Protesting is always great, but this is a capitalist society. It don't move but the money. You want to dictate change? Move some money around, or take some money away, or put some money into it. You know what I'm saying? That's why lobbyists are so important in the political landscape. They're bringing money in. You know what I'm saying? You got people just cutting checks to people, just so they done the way they want to get it done. You know what I'm saying? And I think, and I think we're figuring that out now. I think we're realizing that the power comes in moving this money around. The money is the biggest bully. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you may have an arsenal and this and that, but and it's just like when you're working with a company or you're doing business with somebody. You threaten them like, I'm going to remove my business from you in perpetuity. They perk up. They straighten shit out. They be like, well, I don't have an answer for you. Like, you better figure out an answer. Or an X, Y, and Z will happen. And why move? You know what I'm saying? And you learn that from people like, especially when you talk to cats that are multimillionaires or even billionaires and how they move and their level of ownership. When I say ownership, it's not necessarily I own property such and such. They own their situations. You know what I'm saying? And grenades and shit like that. And overtime. They'll change it to them. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you can march and all that. You can burn and all that kind of stuff. You hit them in the wallet.
Man, instead of the people paying for these lawsuits, they should be paying out of their malpractice insurance like any other professional.
That's phase 2, the accountability. If my partner, like, no, don't do that, bro. Don't, like, if when George Floyd was dying for those 9 minutes, it had this one that said, dog, chill out.
You costing me money, right?
You gonna cost us all some money, dog.
Right.
Enough.
Tell me if you know someone that needs. Tell me if you know someone that needs.
I'ma be the one. I'ma be the one when I'm done.
He ain't lying, y'all.
Higher. If I made it this far, I'll go higher. If I made it this far, I can make it anywhere. If I made it this far, if I made it this far, I'll go anywhere.
Yes, sir. Welcome back. Those some dope videos. Man, great information. Today we break it down. Success defined and redefined for the black community with our honored guest, Kenyatta Baraka.
Yes, sir.
Trife Mac.
Big ups, Trifo. Big ups, big ups, big ups. Let's get
I had an announcement and I forgot all about it.
Go ahead with your announcement, bro.
The debauchery ball is this Friday. Look it up online, find the location, and support
the debauchery ball. So we can go get your jack on in more ways than one potentially. House music all night long. Hey, so Kenyatta, so I pinned your brk.africa link, and then we dropped in your Comedic Roots link. Take a few minutes here and kind of break down to everybody what that's about and what they can get, shopping with you, man, and recycling this money, bro.
Okay. Yeah, well, so one of the things I'm doing, I have a few different things, my main thing is IT. I have a technology company that I started in Africa. I also have a technology company here in the States that I've been doing. And so that's my main thing. But, kind of along the lines of what we're talking about, I'm Pan-African. I think we all need each other. I'm definitely foundational Black American as well. So it's not like a either or kind of situation. I think, we can be both and we need both because this is my country. Obviously, we built this, but then, that's our homeland. And we got brothers and sisters over there who need us and that we need as well. So along those lines, I basically started a clothing line. It's actually a clothing line that I was doing years ago here in the States. But, you know, when I went to Africa, I kind of brought it over there, and, you know, it's going to be, it is a Pan-African clothing line. And so at this point, I kind of have two phases. And so those are kind of the two links that you have. BRK Africa is our African division. And, you know, basically we have a shop there in Kigali downtown. And, you know, we're making manufacturing clothes on the ground for the local market. Eventually, I would like to, you know, expand that and have that stuff shipped over here. But right now, you know, we're in the local market in Rwanda, and I plan on expanding to Kenya soon with that. And so that BRK.Africa, it just has a few of the designs that we have, mostly women's clothes right now that we're doing. And, you know, it's all made in Africa for the African market, but I will, you know, be shipping it over here. And I'll get back to that in a second, but the second part is the USA side. So it's basically BRK USA. You know, have you know, a link to BRK Apparel is like the main site, but I also have an Etsy site that has a lot of the stuff on there. And you know, that stuff is made here in the States. Some is made in China. It's the same kind of stuff that you would normally get from a clothing line, but eventually I would like to move and do all the production there in Africa. This is actually one of my shirts. This is our BRK flag.
Hold on, do it again, because
flag shirt.
There it is, yeah.
Yeah, with the little Metu print in it. You know, it's a comedic inspired line. So you know, so those are kind of the two sides. I want to maybe mention my future plans. I do have several pair of like jeans that I'm doing for men's. I have men's jeans and men's shorts, and I kind of want to transition to a made in Africa jeans company. And so that's what I'm working on now. You know, we're coming up with some new designs, and we're gonna change our focus from some of the women's clothes. We'll still be doing that, but we want to also focus on designer jean manufacturing made in Africa for the world market. And so you know, coming soon, we'll have some good products. You know, actually I have some, we're making jeans now, but it's really on a smaller scale. So I'm kind of building it up. And so that's what BRK is, you know. And it's one of those things where, you know, we need to produce our own things. And so it's like a lot of times, you know, we have these big clothing lines here, but then they get everything made in China.
Right.
And so, you know, I mean, that's where the factories are, but it's like, let's build our own factories. You know, let's have our own production base, because
man, I'm gonna pay no $700 for a pair of jeans made in Africa. I'm playing devil's advocate, you know.
Yeah, well, they're not gonna be that much, you know.
Well, they should be, because that's what we respond to, apparently.
Yeah,
you know,
we'll have different models, different.
Maybe you ought to tell them made in Italy, so they can want to, you know, spend half their check on a pair of $800 jeans.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So they can sit front row at the NBA game.
Yeah,
I love my people.
Work up to the $700-800 jeans. You know, we'll have a little a better price point. But you know, the bottom line is, if we can get any kind of niche or any kind of a headway into that market, I mean, that market is huge. And right now, what's the biggest designer African jean company? Like BRK, because don't nobody know no other ones, you know. So it's like, I mean, it's a wide open market. I mean, they have a few small different places, you know, that are doing local things, but there's nothing that I know of that's really trying to do it on an international, you know, kind of scale. And so, you know, I'm starting small. And so, you know, that's what I'm trying to do. One of the things, because we spend so much money on clothes, and, you know, and we like our swag, we like our style, but it's like we're giving it right back to them. The same thing, you know, Gucci would not be Gucci if it wasn't for the black dollar, you know. And so let's share some of that amongst ourselves.
Yeah, they say Yahusha wore the finest raiments, but he probably wasn't buying it from the Romans, huh?
You know,
All right. So big ups on that, man, and Godspeed, and blessings on your endeavor. And let's support. Let's support. I was gonna ask you guys, so Self Love, the Self Love Show, it's a solutions based show to a certain extent. So I had something I've been throwing around, which probably exists, maybe it doesn't. But what about the FDA fund? So let's say we take a percentage of the money that we're giving to churches and to the Democratic Party, so this isn't new money creation. This is some of the money that we're giving to these churches, to the DNC and all those candidates, because they need our votes. They don't need our money. And then some of the money that we're putting into these 401k programs, where less than 1% of that money from those Fortune 500 companies is ever invested. I'm not making these figures up, in our communities. So once again, we're supporting our oppression. We're financing our oppression. They oppress us on the sweat of our brow and our blood and our backs. So what do you guys think about the FBA fund? And it's an investment fund. And this is where we get into the issues of trust that always comes up when I'm in the barbershop. You guys see, I go to the barbershop all the time. But I just remember these conversations. And but the fund, it's like, who's going to run it? And, I can just hear it now. But why don't we have a fund that we send our monies to as a conglomerate, and then those funds can help. We'll start investing in our communities, and then we're all getting money off of it, kind of like the way the Green Bay Packers is run. I'll start with Tori, then I'll throw it to you, Kenyatta. What do you think about the fund?
I think that it's a good idea fundamentally, and it's right along with the lines with building our own institutions. In my mind, that the fund would, pay for that.
The fund, Kenyatta. You're an athlete. Now you got more money to put into the fund. The more money you put into it, the more pieces you earn. You're an entertainer. You struck oil. You worked off the sweat of your brow and built up a business. You made the sacrifice. I get it. That has to be respected. And whatever you put into the fund, you earn stocks.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. It would be great to have something like that. That's what we need, someplace to pool our money. I would add, it doesn't even have to be a fund. If we just had a black bank, that just any regular bank, we all use a bank. We got Bank of America, Chase, JP Morgan, all these big banks. If we had a big black bank, international black bank, or even a nationwide black bank that we could just use as a regular bank, that would be huge.
And is that bank investing the money that it earns off of our back into the black community?
Yeah, that would be the premise of the black bank.
Correct, because there are black banks, but again, we don't want to be perpetuating the same cycle. Now this money is going to this bank, and they decide they want to go invest, in the Bear Stadium. So
exactly. Yeah. Well, the thing is, there's nothing wrong with that bank investing in a Bear Stadium, because they're going to get that money back, as long as, they also investing in our community, so they can invest in other things that's going to make money just like any other bank. But then they also give us loans for our houses. They give us loans for our businesses, and that's their focus. So I think it's a great idea, whether it's the fund like you were referring to, or if we could find a bank to support that will support us, that is black owned. I think that's definitely all things we need to do. It actually makes me think of, the past, the history that we have. A lot of people don't even know about. What about the Freedmen's Bank? That's not something that people talk about, right?
Self knows about it.
Yeah, I'm sure your brothers know about it,
Yeah.
But it's like, that's not something that everyone talks about. It's actually, there was a bank that was formed for us after slavery. And, that first generation after slavery put so much money in this bank. and they were working hard. Like I say, they've always wanted to be a part of that American dream. And we took the little money we had, the little labor, the money we made from our labor after slavery, and we put it in that bank. So much money in that bank. And obviously we know what happened.
They stole it.
Yeah, the white dude who was running, managing it was
same
like,
thing
oh,
with a
wow.
big insurance company we had. It was the same thing.
Yeah, you know, all this money. They just took the money and ran, gave it to their people, and nobody got any type of criminal charges or nothing. Well, nobody even charged.
Well, and I'm not pushing back against the bank idea. I think there's like 6 black-owned banks, but I think it's easier to get our people to put money into something if they're going to receive dividends or ownership. You know, I'm still going to this bank, getting a loan, paying interest, and conceivably making the board and the shareholders of the bank. But if you're saying that we're the shareholders as well, so it's a community bank, then now I get it. Yeah.
And that's a great idea. You know, the community bank. I know you brought up the Green Bay Packers. That's a great structure. I mean, I think that's the only organization that I know of that's run that way, where you know, the community is the shareholders. I mean, that's a great idea. I mean, we should definitely do more things like that. And it doesn't have to be a bank. It can be a corner store. It can be a grocery store. You know, it can be apartment buildings. You know, I mean, we need to start pulling our money together to build bigger things, because individually a lot of us don't have the resources to go do these things, but collectively we can. But like you said, it's hard to know who to trust, who's going to run it, who's going to manage it.
That's the thing. But there's got to be a way. I mean, somehow we trust these pink people, and they run off with our money every 20 years or so. Bernie Madoff with it. This happened, that happened. There's no Social Security. What's that? So
we need our own institutions. We need our own educational system, our own banks, our medical system, because we're treated unfairly in all of these realms.
Definitely.
And we need these to solidify, so that, and the fund and the bank is all part of it. We need healthcare and education as well. Can't continue to get indoctrinated into the system that they're put for us. Like, we have to most definitely
and I'm thinking the
money.
fund is like a tithe, Self. It's 10%. You know, everybody in the hood, whether you're working at McDonald's, you know, that way working outside the community is helping your community. Whether you're working at, you know, McDowell Douglas, you know, and you're making 300-400 stacks a year, that 10% is still going into the joint, you know, on an annual basis. And that money is being recycled into the community, into entrepreneurs, and into young scientists, and saying, hey, you got this idea, you know, we can get the patent going and just create this machine like a conglomerate, just like they do. The stuff we complain about, you know, oh, look at BlackRock, you know, they own everything. We should be owning 13% of that. And 13, you know, we can't get to their level necessarily, but 13% of a trillion is 13% of a trillion. I think it's like 130 billion. I don't know this math, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's one solution I could think of. Wakil L said, that's what got Gaddafi killed. Oh boy. I didn't mean to say the K word on YouTube. That's my bad. But that's what got K killed, because he wanted and was starting an all African bank, and the big heads, I think he's talking about the big heads with the small hats. He said the big heads didn't want that. Joey White said, we first need to try to come together as Black people. And he has try in parentheses.
Yeah, try implies failure.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys, I mean, so that I think is something that's actionable. You know, we have enough folks who have worked in these banks and who have worked, you know, and learned their systems, been spooks that sat by the door, so to speak. You have an engineering background.
I saw y'all mentioned earlier. That's the book right there, man.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
I just read it again last year. Yeah, that's the book.
Talk about success. Yeah, I think you mentioned it on our show, which made me order it again, because yeah, a lot of my stuff got stolen out of storage. Remember, they over at my grandmother's building. So yeah. So I had to rebuy all these books. So y'all got any other comments or solutions? Any other things y'all can think of that can help us, push this forward?
Yeah, I mean, I think we just need to keep moving forward. Keep progressing. These are big things that we're talking about. It's not going to just change tomorrow, but whatever we can do on a daily basis to support ourselves, support each other, even if it's just family. It ain't got to be everybody. I mean, let's start at home. Start with family. Our individual families. Friends, cousins. Even, I mean, there's more we can do for our kids. Not necessarily giving them money to go burn, but set up some type of little bank account for them that will grow. Buy some stocks for your kids. That'll be, imagine if somebody bought, used some Apple stock 10 years ago.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? Any of that. I mean, little things like that, instead of, like you say, buying the Jordans for the kid, put that money in some stocks. And by the time that kid graduates, from high school, going into college, that's going to be grown, So, I mean, I would say let's just do whatever we can on a small scale to protest, protest the system by not giving them our money. Just keep it. Just don't spend it. You know what I'm saying? How about we just don't spend it? Just put it in a bank. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if nothing else, I think that's a more success than turning around and giving it right back to them. And so you just got to keep working. Find out how you how can you get away from working for someone? How can you own your job? Create your own job. How can you get the same income you're getting by working? How can you do that, online or some other way
or providing a service?
Yeah, providing a service for yourself, even if you're working them hours, working for yourself, if possible, And so, I mean, I think we just all need to individually see what we can do on our level, because we all come at different places, and, just do whatever we can to make our ancestors proud. Just think, like, would my great-great-grandfather want me to be doing this, with the things that...
Well, that's what I'm saying. The sacrifices that he made. So exactly, and exactly, bro. Would you want your great-great-great-grandkids to be, flipping a burger? I mean, not that there's no dignity in that. We all crawl before we can walk, but flipping a burger, but not using it as a means to an end.
Well, I mean, if they flipping a burger at their own joint, then that's
correct.
All good. But
or if they learning how to make burgers so they can start their own joint, right? That's all good too.
Personally, I don't want my great grandkids to be CEOs of nobody else's company. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that could be, they ain't flipping burgers. They could be CEO making all this money. But if it's if it's if it's the descendants of our enslavers, that's not success for me. If you're still working for the descendants of your enslavers, I mean, basically that's success for your enslaver.
Well, why don't we discuss that as a people? I've had this discussion on another thread. So when most of us do make it, we have to move out, because we'll get robbed or whatever the case may be. Although I contend you can have a security fence and security guard and private security and give out book bags, and enough book bags and turkeys, you should be fine in the community. I'd give out boxes of Newports too. Boy, they'd love me over there. My point is this. Probably got to give out some blunts. What are those blunts everybody use? Not to switch yourself, but what's the other one? All the rappers, you got to roll them slow. It pissed me off.
Oh, no.
Backwoods. Yeah. I give out backwoods, baby. They'll be loving me, man. Just backwoods sitting out in front of my, estate.
Big old tray of backwoods always filled.
Backwoods and black and mild.
Backwoods and black and milds, man. And then in certain occasions, we got some yak out there. But I was going into why we're not educated. I haven't even seen a book. I'm sure they exist, but we can't prepare our young ones. We say, yeah, I'm working at this factory, whatever, busting my butt 60 hours a week, so that my child can go to Howard, right? And then your child goes to Howard and gets a degree, 2-3 degrees, and now your child lives out in Highland Park. That child, as an adult now, could never be prepared for what they're going to experience in that community with the indoctrination. And so, and I've heard other brothers who've moved to these places talk about things they experience, and things that children are going through, and children aren't coming home to, like, okay, if I lived in Inglewood in Chicago, my child might be coming home like, Dad, the gangs and this, that, and the third, or the books are messed up, robberies, whatever, they fighting, whatever the case might be. But in the suburbs, it's a whole, I'm talking about these high-end places that we strive to get to. It's a whole nother reality. Like, soccer moms are pulling up and giving your kid dirty looks in some cases. Some of those young men don't want you there. And it's like, I guess what I'm saying in the long run, nobody ever tells you about that part. We should know from looking at history, but go make it, get your degrees, blow up, get you a nice house somewhere, get up out of the community. But then now what?
Yeah. Go move where they don't want you anyway, And so, like, yeah, I mean, and the thing is, I mean, that's what we're talking about. I mean, it's like I think it comes back to, we think that we're just Americans like everybody else, and we are Americans, but we ain't like everybody else, man. Like, foundational Black Americans definitely have a totally different experience, and we have to acknowledge that, and we have to honor our ancestors by living differently. And so there's nothing wrong with being a part of the society. I mean, we want to be a part of the society, but like you mentioned it earlier, that 13%, if everything was balanced, it like 13% of all the wealth of the country would be in Black banks. If everything was
correct,
13% of all the companies would be Black owned.
All the properties would be Black owned.
All the property, all of everything, 13%. But
correct.
It's like, in reality, we still own less than 1%.
Less than 1%
of the whole wealth.
Even at these high-end jobs, we're still less than 1%.
Yes. And which is the same percentage as we owned after slavery. So, like,
and it's going down. And it's going down.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing. Like, how do we have more wealth after slavery than we do now? Like, because
we owned more land after so-called slavery.
Yeah, we don't own nothing now.
We owned a whole lot more. These agreements that we signed that changed ownership of our land.
Everything wasn't no agreement, and everything wasn't signed. Some folks just got ran up off their land. I mean,
correct. I'm talking about ones that wasn't. I agree with you, but I'm talking about ones that wasn't.
Yeah,
and it's on record, so it's going to be some recompense.
Or they signed it at gunpoint.
Exactly.
Right.
Or there's an X there or something,
Right.
And you don't even need a gunpoint. We all know what was going on back then. Like, they didn't have to threaten you with a gun for you to know that they was coming for you.
Well, it's like I'm driving my brand new Cadillac, which doesn't exist. And, the guys jump out and they got those sticks out and they saying, look, we'll give you 50%, we'll give you 20% of the value of this Cadillac, or we'll kill you and just take it.
Exactly.
Give me the 20%. I can use that as a down payment on my next joint. Yeah. All right. So
that's the experience we've had in this country. And so, it just is what it is. And so, if you're still doing what your enslavers wanted you to do for their ancestors or for their descendants, then you're not winning, dude. Like, that's not success. That's success for the folks that brought us over here. We're still trained and loyally serving them, for our whole lives, just working, and then we die and it's over. It's like, it's ridiculous. It don't make no sense.
Well, Yeah, and I mean that takes me into something as we wrap up. I want to ask you about because we're actually touching on it tomorrow. But you know, we're an interesting people. Like we'll have our leagues. It'll be substandard. You know, like the Negro leagues, substandard, and you know we don't have all the pomp and circumstance, all the money around the stadium and all of that. But the play is above board. And then as soon as we can break into these white leagues, like the way the black colleges used to be the best football in America until we were able to go to Alabama, the school that hated us, you know, hates us maybe potentially. So that being said, I wanted to ask you guys your take on Deion. I'm clearly on the fence on this. I don't want to give up my whole take because I'm doing this tomorrow. But my only, it's not an issue with Deion, it's an issue with the scenario that as soon as we build something and we start to build something better, we get bought out. It's not that we sold out, we get bought out.
Yeah. And that's how they want it, because they don't want us to own anything, especially anything of value. So as soon as we show that we own something of value, it's always going to be somebody with more money. They'll buy it, even not to do nothing with it, just so we ain't got it. You know, same thing like the oil companies. Like if you come up with some, you know, great energy, you know, efficient mechanism that doesn't need oil, the oil companies are going to buy it from you, so you can't sell it. And so it's, I mean, and that makes sense for them. I mean, why wouldn't they? I'd do it too if I was them. But it's up to us to sell and not sell, or take that money and flip it into something different. You know, as far as the Deion situation, you know, I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence about it as well. You know, I'm happy that, you know, he's being recognized, you know, for his, you know, coaching ability, you know, but that's kind of, you know, not along those lines, but it's just kind of an example of, because we let's bring up, you know, how Jeff Saturday, he's just the new coach of the, you know, he's the new coach.
Head coach, my man. No coaching experience. Yeah.
No coaching experience.
He coached high school. He coached high school. Come on, man. He coached his sons in high school.
His high school team won a couple games. Yeah. You know, but you know, a dude like that, he can just come in and now he NFL head coach.
NFL head coach.
Deion, I mean, we all know Deion. He got to work his way up. Like he didn't even start at a top school. You know.
But here's the thing. But this is what we're talking about, though. Why is that working your way up? You see what you just said.
Yeah.
Why? Because what I said was, Deion, I get it. Jackson State, this ain't no knock at that institution. But the next guy who does this should probably go to a place like Howard. Now you're sitting down with my family and trying to recruit my kid. You can tell me this is Howard. You know, kind of like what Duke did with those, you know, they weren't recruiting just black kids. They would have maybe one, and they were always light skinned. Now you're saying you're getting this education from Howard, and we're building a football program. You know, like, I think our pinnacle should be as well as Alabama or better. And when people say, well, they don't have the funding, well, we're putting the cart before the horse. Win some damn football games. That's what sacrifice is, to make holy. Win some football games. The TV will come. The TV contracts will come. The NFL will come scout, right? And then now you have more of a bigger endowment, and you can start building bigger stadiums and better facilities. It may have taken 10 years. I'm not saying that man should have made the sacrifice, but therein lies my issue, is once again, our best and our brightest always somehow seduced to go work for them. And then it's justified by our community that he got that bag.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm not pocket watching, it's not like it was me. You know, you offer me, because he got $6 million as opposed to 300,000. You offer me a 20x raise right now, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? I'm liable to leave my wife. You know what I'm saying? 20x, you know. But so I'm trying not to be judgmental here. You know what I'm trying to say? But we're easily seduced by the bag. Go ahead, so.
It was more than that. He wasn't supported there, like he needed to be. Like he went.
So go to another black school.
He went solicited.
So go to another black school.
And nobody offered him anything, and then the black schools didn't really receive him well. You know,
and they don't really have the money. They can't pay him like Colorado can.
Not at all. But he was trying to go out and get private people, and he couldn't get support from that realm. And
that's why he should have gone to a Howard, because their alumni would have had more, probably had more money.
Howard was not interested. Let's just be frank. Nobody was interested in him being a head coach.
Well, that's an issue in itself.
Yeah, I'm just saying, and that's the truth of the matter. Nobody was interested. He stayed for 3 years of a 4-year contract and had to give them. He gave half his salary every year so they to finish the facilities.
Yeah, I mean, don't need that money.
Well, so that justifies. I mean, that. So when a kid's coming out of college with an engineering degree, he may have to go work for a company that's not McDowell Douglas. That's not Tesla. It may be a startup, you know, but how do we ever get there if we're not willing to make the sacrifice to get there?
Yeah. And I mean, I definitely understand your point. You know, I mean, we definitely need to keep ownership of the things that we build. But I would say this is kind of a situation where I'm going to let it play out, you know, just like the book we were talking about, Spooked Outside by the Door. You know, we can't early on in the book see, you know, what his really path is. And
so, don't blow the book for me, because, you know, I haven't read it in years.
Okay,
but go ahead. No, go ahead. I know you're not going to blow it. Go ahead.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah. I'm just saying, it's like I'm going to let it play out, because it's not a problem that he's going to Colorado to build his name, to build his experience and his coaching legacy, hopefully to take him to the NFL or whatever. My thing is, what's he going to do when he gets there? So, you know, I understand, you know, I think it's a good move for him. I'm happy that he's able to coach at.
Personally, it's a great move.
Yeah. You know, but the thing is, let's see how it plays out. Now, if he goes and, you know, gets his great experience, is able to maybe get a coaching gig in the NFL and then do something positive with it, you know, take that back and show or invest in some of the coaching programs, you know, at Jackson State or, you know, some of the HBCUs. I think he's already done a lot to
he's done a lot. Nobody's taking that away.
Yeah,
but white supremacy. I've been following white supremacy for a long time, and they are just diabolical enough to offer him $6 million to stop that movement that he began at Jackson State. When he came out there, he came out there and he essentially used the struggle to recruit kids who would have had an opportunity to go to an Alabama. They would have had an opportunity to go to a Michigan or Ohio State and have all these facilities. But he told all those kids and their families, we're going to sacrifice here together and we're going to build this up. And this is a movement. Now he goes to Colorado, takes $6 million, and is encouraging some more players to come with him. And it's telling some of those other ones, don't get in the transfer portal. That's all I'm saying, man. I'm looking at all angles. I'm looking at all angles, bro. I'm not blaming him. He did something nobody else was willing to do, I suppose, and I hope somebody follows him and sticks with it. Had he not come out in the beginning and made it all about, I'll throw it to you, and not made it all about, you know, black people got to, you know, and we got to rebuild ours and we can be better, you know, and then just bounce. But go ahead, so.
Well, I feel like he would not have bounced if he was supported. And I was saying he wasn't getting support that he thought he was. I mean, I really don't think so. It was, you know, they saying it, they broke in his office. People are stealing stuff. Who knows who this is or whatever. And he's asking for support because he's asking for people to, you know, give some money. He thought he could just bring the money in, I guess. And it didn't come in like that. And then he also, like,
And that's a
selling the
knock on
stadium.
us.
They selling the stadium out, and it ain't no profit or nothing. He's like every game is always filled and all that, and he's asking where the money is. If that, because he's giving half his salary.
Let's stop talking about half of $150,000. He wipes his ass with that, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Right, but he
should have gave all
wiped
his
his ass for his whole salary, and I'm just saying, the whole salary he wipes his ass with. So him being there,
so it's okay to use the movement as a springboard to push forward your career, and just go off to a white college, and then and now he's going to be recruiting black kids to go off to this white college.
Yes.
I'm just saying that I couldn't have scripted such a.
Hold on. He also got them with a TV contract for the HBCUs. They got them on TV. He got them. It was much more higher profile, bringing some people there. They brought in another NFL player coach. I think at Tennessee State. I can't remember who it is, but
right. So you're saying he started a movement?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I would just say it's not over. I just want to see what he does next.
Yes,
so I'm not gonna really. I definitely.
I hope Colorado don't fire him after 2 seasons. But go ahead, bro.
Yeah, I mean,
because I've been watching white supremacy a long damn time.
Yeah, well, he better win because he only got 2 seasons to win, or else he will be out of there.
He galvanized the people. I mean, I was behind his movement. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. It was heartbreaking. And then I'm like, Deion ain't gonna go nowhere, man. Here's what I'm saying. Like in my mind, I'm putting myself. I can speak for myself. I can't speak for him. I'm already rich. He said that. I'm already rich. So salary's not the issue. That's what he said when he went to Jackson State. I'm already rich. I'm not here for the money. So I thought that he was just all in, making that sacrifice to do what it is that he said he was going to do. I had no idea that he was using that opportunity as a springboard to go off to a white college.
I don't necessarily think he was
using it as a springboard. I think he just wants to personally show what he can do on that level. And I think he's trying to get to the NFL level. Like, I mean, that's where I want him to go, and then see what he does from there. I mean, speaking of the sports NFL, what's up with the ownership? Like, why can't we should own 13% of
Isn't that what we're talking about with success? Why do we continuously value our success on doing it for them? Isn't that exactly what we've been discussing today?
Yeah, I mean,
honestly, HBCUs ain't. I mean, they're historically black colleges, but they're not ran. It's not black money that keeps them open. It's very few of them are actually black owned and ran.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have the money to support and build those institutions. But I mean, the thing is, I don't think it's a problem with him working in the NFL. I mean, I would love for them to start their own league or something, especially with basketball. That's a whole nother story. But it's what he does. Like, if he gets to the NFL and then he recruits people from black colleges, or he supports the black college athletes, or the sports programs, and he uses his leverage and his position at Colorado, in the NFL, coaching.
So you're saying maybe he schedules a game against Jackson State. Let's see if he does that. Or I just want to see what. Right.
Yeah, I don't
go
know
to Jackson State.
Let's see what he does.
Yeah, that'll be good.
I hope this isn't just, he won and he's the end all because I'm coaching at Colorado. I think that's just his next step, but I hope that he does something with it. I don't like we're talking about the conversation. I don't think it's a problem to work, for these white corporate America, and make that money. But what do you do?
Right.
The problem is when you work, make the money, and then you give it right back to them, and then you die.
Right.
So if you work, make that money, and then you invest it in something and build something outside of that, something for you, something for your community, for your family, then that's a success, because you have to get the money how you can. There's nothing wrong with, going to school and, getting an education and getting a good job. The thing is, that's not the end of it. That's the beginning. And so what do you do with it? And so I'll look at this situation the same. This is the beginning. We'll see what he does. But, I definitely understand both sides.
Yeah, it's interesting. And I'm not calling him a sellout at all. I've always loved Deion, but it's just interesting that you take a guy who I don't remember him talking much about, the movement throughout his, career. And then as soon as he gets this job coming out of high school to coach a college, now it's all about, the movement and black people, rah, rah, rah. When this guy himself didn't even go to a black college. He went to Florida State. I'm looking at it in hindsight. And, everybody tells me, well, what have you done for black colleges? I get it. Well, I could say that about, Donald Trump. I'm sure he's done something good for somebody. That doesn't mean that I have to agree with his platform. You understand what I'm saying? But it's going to be an interesting show. You guys are welcome to pull up tomorrow because it's a different show. This has been I support Deion. It's just that the way he came out there, bro, I thought he was about it, man. I thought he was about to ride out and get that program to a point where I can turn on the TV one Saturday and watch Jackson State beat Michigan at Michigan. You know what I'm saying? That's what I thought he was going for. I thought he was in it for the sport of it all, but I apparently had it pegged all wrong, and that's on me. Won't happen again. That's for damn sure.
Maybe,
me believing my
not.
people won't happen again.
Maybe not. I mean,
it's all a springboard.
He might have
everybody at the black college right now. If any white school called them, they're gonna take the job, probably for money. I get it, but I'm just saying it's all a springboard. At least they take the job and don't come out and say, "Rah rah rah, come to my school. We're gonna beat the white man at his own game," and then go sign with the white man. I'm surprised nobody can see this. What I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. It's that cut and dry, and I couldn't have scripted it better than this. But that's just one guy's opinion. But go ahead, my fault. So
yeah,
you're saying he didn't get support. I don't want to hear it. Nobody's going to support him. They're competing against him.
Well, there's a lot of black people that's not competing at all. They ain't involved with it at all. He was asking for their support. Personal people he knew.
That's another issue. That's what I'm saying, man. Exactly. Why didn't he do a GoFundMe? We like GoFundMes.
Well, I think he tried to do a personal GoFundMe and nobody gave shit.
I didn't hear about it. Yeah, had he done a GoFundMe for Jackson State football program, I would have chimed in some money. I think he'd have got some money raised. But that's our issue, though. I know I went off on a tangent, but that's our issue. We don't support.
Well, a lot of people who are in those positions can't. I mean, their whole wealth and lifestyle is based on not public.
It's all a house of cards too. So yeah.
They're all because what I wanted to say something about some of our so-called successful people, that they're pushed in the direction that they've surrounded by people that don't look like us, and they are all in their pocket. They are all in their pocket and making a lot of decisions for what they're doing. And that's a issue that, we need to have us in there surrounding.
Well, you raise a good
areas.
point. So I wonder, did Deion try to get money from his white friends as well? Did they say no?
Yeah, he said, he didn't say what color they was. He said millionaires and billionaires, friends, and people that, trying to get, basically would be chump change to them. And he was getting more benefit. I do want to say this for the record too. That he was getting more benefit just his salary, because like his son, his daughter, or at least two of them were in school there, and I'm sure that wasn't paying tuition.
Yeah, but how much could that be? But I think the straw that broke the camel's back is when the city of Jackson couldn't even produce drinking water. I mean, that went on for weeks, bro.
Yeah.
That went on for weeks. You know what I mean? He had already lived a high lifestyle. I mean, it's got to be tough to make that sacrifice. Jackson State, give me a call. I don't know too much about football, but I'm sure I can figure it out and keep those players coming in here. I'll have some good assistant coaches in there. Me and Self will be wearing hoodies, you know what I mean? Looking important with headphones on. What are they doing? What is he doing? What are they doing? You know what I mean? Yeah. But hey, listen. Hey, I want to get some final words on this. Go ahead and give me your final words on the topic. I know I digress. Might be the scotch. But go ahead, Kenyatta.
Man, I'll just wrap it up to say, it's definitely good to sit down and talk to y'all brothers. I think we need to come together and politic and just brainstorm about some different ideas. But, I would just, ask everyone to just look and see what they can do to improve their lives in a positive way and the lives of the people around them, and to build wealth, true wealth, and not just for them, but for their families and for their communities. And so that looks different for each of us. But just, what would the ancestors think of your decisions? I mean, just think of that. What would they do? Would they support what you're doing, or would they look at you and like, you still working for this dude?
Right. Would they be calling us sellouts? Go ahead,
exactly. I mean, so
yeah.
But hey, you got to live out here. I definitely understand. It's not easy. So, to each his own. Peace and blessings to everyone.
Yeah, man, and I appreciate this topic and you coming on and doing this, man. You're perfect for the topic, not just since you suggested it, but you're walking it as you talking, and I get a lot of kickback on that. But hey, criticize me. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. Like if I'm washing my car, and you know what I mean, and the water's I'm painting my car and the paint's getting on your car, and what are you doing? You're not painting anything. You know what I'm trying to say? And there's something going on in our community that I understand. You got to be out here, walking it like you're talking it, but everybody's got an opinion and they all stink. But appreciate you doing this, my brother.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Love, honor, respect.
Yeah, man, this platform's your platform. Anytime, let us know, reach out to us. Man, we could do this again, my brother.
Cool. Yeah, I got some things coming up, man. I'll let you know, man. Definitely some things I'm looking forward to. And Tori, I mean, I'm around, man. We need to link up, grab a drink.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I'll be in the shot too
mandatory.
In February. So I'm definitely holler at you, bro.
Okay, definitely.
Yeah.
It's mandatory.
For sure.
Emphasis on Tory. All right, Kenyatta. We don't kick nobody out, man, but appreciate you doing this, brother.
All right, y'all. Take it easy.
Yes, sir. Keep your head up. Yeah, that was a great panel, huh?
Impactful.
We're gonna have to get you to pull in on Mouthpiece Included tomorrow there, fella. You know what I mean? We need that. I don't know what Ace's take on this is yet.
Yeah.
I try to get some of the brothers to come on too, because they, yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So
I watch most weeks, unless, I get, I'm driving all day, and sometimes I come in and it's time to sit back and chill. And by the time 9 o'clock come around, your bro is saucy.
That's all right. Well, that's what we're doing, man. That's what that show is about. Don't forget to bring your drink and don't forget to bring your mouthpiece. But Wakil said Wakil, I hope you mean you'll jump on the panel tomorrow. That'd be great, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that'd be great. I'd love to hear his point of view because, this is a guy who had Matthew Trashford going to the Hall of Fame. Still might get in,
Yeah, he probably will. I mean, he got that victory needed to get over the hump.
Yeah.
Motherfucker he threw to is in the Hall of Fame.
No comparison. That's my whole point. The guy he threw to is a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
First ballot.
He's the only quarterback that threw to him. And he got a Super Bowl. He's probably going to be a Hall of Famer by the whole judgment of who they go, how it goes with that part.
Yeah, well, Matsui should be in the Hall of Fame, too, for blocking for walking paper. That's the case.
No, it's not the same.
No?
No, fullback is not the same as quarterback. That's for damn sure. I mean, fullback rarely touched the ball. He's very important for the running game and all that, and blocking. And he's blocking for the quarterback, but
I won't even put Megatron in the same sentence with Matthew Trafford. Me personally.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
I'm just saying. He was the only quarterback that threw to him.
My great-great-grandmother, rest her soul, could have thrown to him, and he would have caught for 1,200 yards a season.
Possibly. She can make it reach. You damn right.
Yeah, but no, I got you, bro. Yeah. We have to cover that. We're gonna have to cover that. Is Matthew Trashford? That's gonna be in the title too. It's Trashford. Is Matthew Trashford a Hall of Famer? We're gonna cover that one day. Hope you drop in, One Kill.
I think it's with Megatron and the Super Bowl that pushes. If not, then I'm not sure that. Nah.
All right, I'm gonna have to pull up his career record at some point. But yeah, man, great thing, man. Success, interesting. I think it was a great breakdown here tonight, huh?
I feel the same.
Yeah. So, all right. Let's go ahead and push it on. We did our final words. We did our solutions, tips. The answer to the riddle. Raquel said, "Thank you, Hot Tube."
Hot Tube. Uh-oh. Must be that autocorrect or something, because there's no Hot Tube. What the hell is?
Tori said, "Hot tub, Tori." So we didn't do the solution to the riddle, and Dr. Rue couldn't come up with it either. And Self Love hasn't come up with it. Oh, you typed it in? You came up with it, right, Self?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on here. Let's see what's going on here. I don't even have to look at the answer because I remember it based upon his answer. Yeah, he said hot tub. Thank you, hot tub. All right. So the brain teaser was should have been does. What does the letter T and an island have in common? What does the letter T and an island have in common? Self Love?
They are both in the middle of water.
It's amazing that you came up with that, bro. That's amazing.
That's spirit.
Yeah, I mean, that is...
I can't take no credit for that.
That's truly amazing. There's no way I would have come up with that. But that is correct.
I didn't come up with it right away either. I was like,
Yeah, I tell you, you're reading the imprint on my mind or something. But even that time, I didn't even have an answer in my mind because I couldn't remember. I would have had to look it up. Yeah. All right. So that was the riddle. Hey, you guys, next week, we're covering RoboCop. I know you guys all saw that movie back in the day, in the 90s. The robot, violating everybody's rights and going through the community and mowing down gang members and drug dealers and such. Well, RoboCop has been approved to use force. You know how they use force self in that Dallas shooting? And I was flabbergasted about, man, you mean to tell me they put a remote and put a bomb on a robot and blew that brother up? I was like, is that constitutional? Remember that? The world caught up with me eventually. But when I first saw it, I'm like, I've never seen anything like this. You know, I was like, but they do that to a pink man? Just put a bomb in there and blow him up?
Some of them, if it, could, make a difference for their agenda, they do it.
Yeah. Yeah. If they were out there talking and screaming the stuff that he was screaming to those police, because he was out there screaming some stuff. It's almost like he was a spook, but we don't want to say too much. But we're going to cover the state and the city where they have this RoboCop. They claim it's going to be using force, but not deadly force, only in cases where the officers fear for their life. Extreme cases. So, they got to go ahead to move forward and start killing as many melanated as possible with machines. Self Love, you got any comments on that?
It's all according to their plan, and I do agree with Brother Kenyatta Baraka that we should probably deem success as defeating their plan.
Won't get no pushback, certainly there. And tomorrow, Thursday, live on Mouthpiece Included. That's at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. That is also a live show, Mouthpiece Included. It's where we break down politics. That's politics mixed with politics. The emphasis is on the politic part. Well, we get into it. This show, we don't debate, but on Mouthpiece Included, we do debate. You better bring your mouthpiece. Tomorrow's topic is Prime Time abandons mission to rebuild HBCU's football program. And that's what we're discussing tomorrow. And when you show up, if you pull up, it's an open panel. You better not forget your what?
Don't forget your mouthpiece.
Don't forget to bring your mouthpiece or you'll get all wet. Yeah. All right. And so that's what we got tomorrow. So now this brings me to my personal favorite part of the whole shebang. And that is wordsmiths. Final words out there, 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 out there.
Woo! It's all about our success. Different ways and means to progress. Not just what I profess, but facts deem as important.
Flesh.
We were indoctrinated at an early age with the American dream, even though it was out at the edge of what we could see and seem to be real. They taught us something. It was crazy to be still and listen to all they commandments. Indoctrinated into they lower understanding.
Flesh.
That's why we praise they flag and they God. Man, to me that still seems odd. We believed our indoctrination more than what our family told us.
Flesh.
Even after our open enemy showed us what they think of us and their plan, we still loving and chasing the man. Kind of hard for me to understand or comprehend, but most people around me don't understand. how I live and why I live as I choose. 'Cause I'm sick and tired of our collective abuse. Knowing that this whole system rides on our back. After the 13% of us stand up and they fall off, that's the end of the trap. Success is building our own system. Means our own institutions and use our intuition for our own inner wisdom. Decide what our children learn. Decide upon our health and our financial concerns. Where we put the dollars that we earn.
Burn, baby, burn.
They make way off everything we do. Ish people, they not quite what is real, but they're ish, a sort of type of
kinda like
that doesn't measure up. It's a damn shame they control our content and what we upload. We gotta make our own pathways, tell our own truths that need to be told.
Flesh.
Cause this so-called media, they straight tell lies. Even the heroes that they present are evil guys.
Tell lie vision.
We need our own system, starting with where we present the Self Luv Show. This is our intellectual content that we provide into YouTube, and they abuse us. But time will tell, and I was born to excel. Along the path, you have to fail. So let's grow together, do whatever. I am a rebel. Words.
Word. FBA fun coming soon. Magnanimous, bro. Magnanimous. All right, y'all know where we at. Time to close out this joint for tonight. This is Ka Zodiac. I call him Ka Kamala. Man, know thyself. Make sure you're loving yourself and your families.
It's very important.
Do you think you are the one?
This vibration, the music, the vibration, the frequency. Y'all look up this song, listen to it.
You know what that means?
It'll help your life.
Latin means know thyself.
You better know yourself. Bullets are boomerangs.
Man, know thyself. I will eat the right foods that I grow myself. Cause the wrong way stole
murder.
I'm glad to be me.
It's suicide.
Yeah, man. Cause an eye for an eye.
I will eat the right foods that I grow myself. Cause the wrong
silence is violence, bro.
I'm glad to be me.
You see something, say something.
Yo, here I go again, the code scriptures, posting some pictures. Hope you get the picture.
Greed plus ego over some fear. That's slave theory.
Charity plus humility times love is freedom.
F what you heard. Do not answer questions.
Yeah, no matter where you hear it or what you heard, question everything.
Fear is cap. It's an illusionary. It's illusion. It's all in your mind. It ain't real.
Man, vibrate love.
And forgiveness, that's the highest love vibration.
So, forgive your enemies and do something charitable.
Take some donuts down there to the 12 station.
Nah, don't do that part.
Many secrets in my lyrics, come and see if you can hear it. You never die when you breathing up.
Hey, I used to hear, man, that healthy people heal people.
Yeah, man. We know this is fact that hurt people will hurt people.
Free the old man. Free Larry Hoover, bro.
Free Chief Malik, man. Jeff Ford.
Free all the guys, man.
Yeah, well, prison is slavery.
Check that 13th Amendment. Be like, you could be like St. Pedro. Keep your gaze on Yahusha, and you can walk on H2O.
Yeah, man. Move mountains.
Move mountains. You know how much energy that'll take, bro?
Nah, man. All we need is the faith of a mustard seed, and we got way more than that. That joint right there,
yeah,
right out the way.
Mustard seed, huh?
I'm gonna let you in a little secret. Being the one is just like being in love.
Wow.
No one can tell you you're in love, you just know it. Through and through, balls to bones.
Respect yourself. Respect the ancestors.